Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac from Roby Electric and W.H. Hobbs Plumbing, along with Trent Haston from the Roby family of companies. We are your hosts. Trent, we have a fellow entrepreneur in the studio, Jeff Hickman with Jeff Hickman with South Point Solutions, talking about some lighting.
What are you, a waste guy?
Yeah.
A waste guy? Yeah. You out in Belmont on South Point Road?
No, not that.
Yes. He takes away wasted electricity.
That's what I do.
There
wasted
you go.
money.
How you tie that in together?
Get rid of wasted money.
You are a waste guy.
I am
Man,
a waste guy.
that's what efficiency will get you.
That's exactly right.
And he's just a pretty good guy all around. A lot of fun. We've obviously been cutting up in here for the last few minutes before this second segment came on. We're glad you're with us. So Jeff, what is the South Point Solution? Tell us a little bit about you. Give us the elevator speech, so to speak.
Well, we're an energy services company, which primarily means that we're leveraging wasted energy and turning it into cash flow. And what that does is that frees up the operational expenses because you're not spending. You can actually leverage it so that you don't spend capital. So basically, we take the check you write to the utility every week or every month.
Right.
We go find waste in there, and we turn that into free cash flow by leveraging the lighting solution, more energy-efficient lighting, to lower that energy bill. And then you can take that money that you save, and you can either leverage that to lease so that you don't have any money out of pocket, or
Right.
you just put that back and you generate cash flow.
Well, it sounds like I'm listening to a Rich Dad Poor Dad seminar, Trent. He's taking something out of the liability column and putting it in the asset column.
Oh, wow. Man, we're getting
Something
technical.
like that.
Something like that.
Sounds like he's selling a pot of gold for free.
He's the Lucky Charms guy.
It almost is. It almost is. You'd be surprised how much waste there is embedded in commercial and industrial buildings, and even in your house. There's a lot of waste embedded that you can free up.
If you're in this industry, I mean, this is a big, hot topic. I mean, especially like commercial real estate brokers, investors, owners. I mean, they're very keenly aware of what's going on with their ability to save money by utilizing LED lighting. And your company is South Point Solutions, not South Point LED Distributors. And that there's a reason behind that, and I think it has to do with the process of how you guys go to market.
That is correct. So it's a very you teed that up perfectly, Patrick. What's different is we're not pushing light bulbs. We're not distributors. We're not just out there trying to just move product. What we're trying to do is to create a solution for that individual client. And so we take a lot of time and effort in developing the right solution. So the environment has to be taken into consideration, what that client does and what kind of a lighting level they need, both in intensity and in color. And then we translate that into the design. So we'll actually go through the process of laying that out to make sure that we meet what their expectations are from a light level perspective and from a light color relative to what they're doing. Then we develop the solution to meet that only after we know what their buying criteria is. So some people want the Cadillac solution. They wanted all the bells and whistles. They want it to be perfect. They want it to last 30 years. And some people say, hey, I got this property. I'm in year 3 of a 7-year lease. I want something that's just going to get me some reduced operating expenses for the next 3 years that'll pay for itself. And then that's a different solution. So it's customized based on what they need.
It's kind of like in the construction industry, we always say quality, price, and time. You can only have 2 of those, really. I mean, one of them's going to sacrifice, so it's the same application in your world.
Correct, Trent. There's a good, better, best solution for almost every opportunity.
Makes sense.
And so because we're trying to leverage it based on maximizing the return on the investment, we want to put in a system that's more energy efficient. Because a lot of people don't understand, if you look at the life cycle of a light fixture, just pick any light fixture, the total cost of ownership over a 10-year period, about 85% of the total spend is what you consume in energy. And only about 3 to 5, sometimes 7% is the actual upfront cost, and then there's a little bit in there for maintenance. So it's similar analogy to buying a car, and you have operating expenses. So if you're going to drive a lot, it's worthwhile spending $5,000 more to get a better, fuel-efficient, longer-lasting vehicle, because even though you're spending more up front, if you're able to save another $1,000 a year and you're going to have that car 10 years, it's a smarter business decision to spend more to save more down the road. And that's what we try to educate clients with.
So you're in the green space. I mean, is this the green space?
This is the green. Yes, it is.
Let's go with the trend word.
It is.
So.
It is.
But it's dollars and cents.
It's really
too,
about
right?
the paper green.
I tell people all
money.
the time, I'm like, hey, that's a fad, but it isn't giving you the technology in this certain area, whatever the green product is, isn't there yet. I wouldn't do it. I'd let it play out a little longer till the dollars make sense.
Correct.
How you like that?
That's
dollars make sense.
Dollars
He's trying
make
to make
sense.
sense.
He's
With
trying
a
to-
TS at the end of sense.
He is pulling that together. Yeah. So my background has always been in energy efficiency, and I started this company in 2003. So we're in our 15th year. I've been in the business for 26 years, and so I did energy services for big corporations, and we did all things energy efficiency wise that you can think of: chillers, boilers, windows, roofs, lighting, controls, everything. And suddenly I realized, long about 2002, 2003, hey, lighting is the low-hanging fruit. And you can initiate a lighting retrofit solution in the commercial and industrial space and typically get a return on investment from a simple payback perspective of anywhere from 1.5 to 3 years. And that makes a lot of sense. And so while it may be more efficient to change out your chiller, it's a 7 to 10 year, 12-year payback.
And most leases are what, 3 to 7 years? I
Correct.
I would say on commercial industrial.
Correct. And so depending upon whether you're working with the building owner, the leasing company, or the tenant, there are 3 separate objectives financially of each of those parties, and you have to understand how to create a solution that helps to fit the needs of who's going to ultimately pay for that.
Well, and I think that's what I like most about what you do, Jeff, is there's a lot of people out there that are peddling LED and peddling LED swap outs, and they're coming in with the most inexpensive product, trying to show energy savings, right? And we talked about that, and you even brought an example in of an LED fixture, it's a light bulb, just a regular old standard light bulb, of kind of like what the inexpensive LED light bulb, not inexpensive, I'm going to say the word cheap.
You could say the word cheap because that's what it is.
Daddy told me to never say cheap.
Well, but that's the difference. You're coming in with a solution that maybe on the front side might cost, like to your point on the car, a couple $1,000s more, but the life expectancy and the energy savings is going to far outweigh that price point. So
Correct.
This is not a low price, low cost industry. Like if I'm a business owner, one of the 3 people that you listed that have an economic interest in this, going for the cheapest on the front side is not the right decision.
No, it is not. And it boils down, like you said, Patrick. This is a good example of how that fits. And the problem is in our industry. I say the problem. One of the challenges that we have, being in this industry, is I've got going on 3 decades of experience. My company's been in business going on 15 years. Mm-hmm. We're not going anywhere, and we have thousands and thousands of clients that we've done work in. We've done work in 26 states in the U.S. We've done work in Mexico, Puerto Rico. We haven't done anything in Europe, but we have a good reputation of being there, and we fully support the client after the sale. No offense, because you guys are in the plumbing business, but plumbers now and HVAC contractors will sell LED light fixtures because they're so just ubiquitous. They're coming over in container loads.
I agree. I mean, we talked about this before. I mean, I probably get 2 or 3 calls to Roby Electric a day from a different LED distributor, and they call in, and they're just the dime a dozen. To your point, what's different about you all is you have some. It's just like the Roby family of companies. We could say the same thing about construction workers, right? We have sometimes our contractors. We have a stigma that the warranty ends when you can't see the brake lights anymore, that kind of thing.
Right.
So we've had the same tenure, and that's why we feel that's the same way you do about your company, is that with that longevity, we're not going anywhere, and we're going to take care of things even if there is an issue after the
partners.
problem.
Partners, right.
And if somebody's – you don't help somebody become more successful when you sell them something, then you need to get in a different business.
That's right.
That is correct. And so, we're in it for the long term. We have many, many clients that we retrofitted their facilities 10 years ago from an HID magnetically ballasted product to linear fluorescent. And now today we're retrofitting the linear fluorescent to LED because we've serviced them along the way. One thing that we do differently is we manage the warranty. So unlike anybody else,
you manage the rebate process as well.
Manage the rebate process,
which can be pretty daunting if you're not familiar with it.
I would like to learn a little bit on when we come back on the rebate process. Also, a big part about this show, if you listen to it all the time, and I know, Jeff, you listen to it, is we don't just talk about products and businesses. We talk about life lessons and have a little fun. So we jumped into it, guys. I just learned a ton. And there's going to be more to learn, but I do also want to talk about your business journey and how you and I got to know each other and how the whole thing works, because that's where I really get excited. So, hey, you're listening to At Home with Roby. Thanks. We'll be back.